If you're roughly my vintage, you would have learned in school about Dorothy McKellar and her poem about the land of the sunburnt country of droughts and flooding rains. But Dorothy McKellar did not mention meth. Keep watching. Hi there, it's Mark Harry from McCarthy Group, and again today I'm joined by Stephen McCarthy, CEO of McCarthy Group.
Hello.
Welcome, Stephen.
Hello, Mark.
Now today we talked about Dorothy McKellar, we've talked about droughts and floods and this thing called methamphetamine, the big drug of choice for many.
Yes.
So we want to cover this under the umbrella of a thing called insurance. Now, what's the problem with insurance, Stephen?
Well, really good question, Mark. That's going to be our topic today, is insurance. Now, we have recently been exposed to the failings of insurance and insurance companies and policies, and our exposure to that is that for in Townsville earlier this year,
February,
devastating floods, and totally wiped out a suburb. Water was, up to virtually up to my hip level.
Yep.
Our house was destroyed. There was that. And then just last week, I noticed on the Sunshine Coast, there was
Perugian Beach
fire that ripped through one of the areas that we were involved in many, many years ago. Now, I haven't found out whether or not those properties were burnt. And then there was this thing about this the scourge of the country, and this is this ice epidemic.
Right.
That's you watch Breaking Bad, you'll know all about cooks and labs. And so typically a cook will find a rental property, and they'll go in there and they'll cook, and they contaminate the property.
And this is a massive, massive issue.
It's a massive issue. It's a growing issue.
Yep.
And this all comes down, all three of those things, no matter what happens, it comes down to, well, am I insured?
Yes.
Now, it's been, firstly, there's two levels of insurance for an investor. There is your standard, your building insurance.
Right, which covers the building if it was to burn to the ground.
Burn down or flood. And then there's the landlord insurance policy.
So landlord protection policy.
Landlord protection policy.
Which generally covers?
Which generally covers, well, it's a whole, and I'll talk about I had two of those houses. I've mentioned that earlier. I've had two of those houses in Townsville that were flooded. Now, I'm very, very pleased to say that I was, the insurance company that I was with, pretty much no hassle. So I've basically received two checks for an excess of $180,000 for each house.
Right. Which
absolutely covers the total refurbishment of those properties.
So this means ripping out floors, painting, cupboards, anything that was ever even close to water is being reestablished.
Yeah, well, either way, I see this has been a bit of a benefit, because I'm getting my homes there.
Two brand new ones.
Yeah, 12 years old. Now they've got brand new homes again.
Bingo.
I've got my depreciation schedule, starts again from, from the top. A great looking property, and they're still under construction, but they will certainly look great on the rental market. And so, and not only that, but with my landlord policies, I had building in my landlord.
Right.
My landlord policy covering up to 12 months. So I have a year.
So you're still getting paid rent.
I'm still getting paid rent.
Even though your property right at this minute is uninhabitable.
That's right.
But you're still getting the rent coming in, which of course, as an investor, is super critical.
Yeah. Now, what we found in that exercise, and helping a whole bunch of our clients claim on their insurance companies and walking them through that process, there were some people that they did not have good policies.
Okay, so this, by way of contrast, this is where the rubber meets the road. Those who've got the right policies and those who don't got the right policies.
Now, it appears that the policies that were lacking, you buy them online.
Okay.
They like a compare site, compare, and the only criteria was price.
Right.
And of course, the issue here is that people are only figuring out what they get for their money at a time when they need that money most.
Right. So of course, by then it's all too late.
Too late. So, and now we've seen it. One of these houses that's been affected by meth.
You got me.
Their policy did not cover them for malicious damage, which is obviously what happens in there. It's damaged, and so no coverage. It's out of pocket.
So just a quick one on meth houses is what that ultimately means. This stuff, this chemical is massively toxic.
Yeah.
Would kill a brown dog, and so consequently, this leaches into the paint, the window furnishings,
Yes.
cupboards. So all that stuff has to be redressed, and we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars potentially here.
Expensive exercise, yeah.
So all because one little word was not included in the agreement.
Malicious damage.
Malicious damage.
Yeah.
So
So that's sort of our heads up. Is that cheap in the case of insurance? Cheap does not mean better. Cheap can mean in the I must say the rare event where you have either a flood or a fire, and I know myself and many of our clients are very, very happy that they did have enough insurance to cover their flood houses. But then again, there's people that didn't. So I suppose our takeaway from this is review your insurance policies. Now, the other thing there is with these policies, now, a little while ago here in New South Wales, they took away the requirement you had to put your registration sticker up on your car. So these days, people are getting fined left, right and centre because their cars are out of registration.
Therefore, they're not insured to be on the road.
They're not insured to be on the road,
right.
As
Big
it
problem.
turns out. So
and of course, ignorance is no defence.
No. Well, they say I never received a notification where you moved addresses. You're fine.
You're gone.
But the point is, with insurance, particularly landlord insurance, it's not mandatory. You don't really get reminders. The reminders are easy to overlook. So what we're saying particularly to our clients, is that make sure that your managing agent has a copy of your landlord insurance every year, and we'll chase your tail, make sure it's up to date. And we've got that. We've got that there. We know what you've been covered for, and so there's some some cohesion around this particular area.
So to all the landlords associated with the Koalaboo real estate, please make sure that your respective managers have an up-to-date copy of your most recent building insurance and landlord protection policy, and they'll keep that on file and provide reminders along the way. You need to do that, of course, every year. We do not want our clients, coming cap in hand after the fact, saying, "Oh, by the way, I forgot to have this or that."
I mean, if you didn't have that landlord insurance policy, and and your house is taking up to 12 months to get repaired, that's what do you do for rent?
Exactly, that's a massive.
And not only that, you can't sell the property in its current form.
And of course, banks being banks don't tend to give a whole lot of leeway on these types of situations. So the mortgage still has to be paid. The council rates will still have to be paid. They'll even charge you for electricity supply.
And even land tax when it's debatable what that value of that land is.
Don't you love them
when it's damaged like that? So, and of course, landlord insurance policy is it's a deductible expense. So.
Okay, so if you've got any questions at all about the level of cover you've got, or you're a little uncertain as to what specific words to look for, please click on the link below. Just enter in your details there, and we'll be back to you quite happily with some guidance on those things. Secondly, please make sure that your property manager has a copy of your up-to-date policies. Do that every year. And if you have any other questions, you know what to do. Click the link below. Thanks again for your time. We'll keep watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.